bienvenue à cette émission spéciale. Nous sommes en direct de l'Environnement Musique Plus, pour une émission spéciale intitulée Musique Plus versus WWF. À l'instant, j'aimerais vous présenter notre animatrice pour cette émission spéciale, accompagnée de ses escortes Chacal, Piranha et Frankie the Mobster. Voici Anne-Marie Wiedenshaw. He is the People Champ, The Rock! Un autre des opposants, mesdames, messieurs, Jeff Jarrett! Et maintenant, celle qui est connue comme la plus grande culturiste au monde, mesdames, messieurs, Nicole Bass! Et un invité spécial, mesdames, messieurs, only for you, ladies, pour vous, mesdemoiselles, Val Venis!
Comme vous savez sûrement maintenant, bienvenue à cette émission spéciale Musique Plus contre la WWF. On est en compagnie de 4 superstars de la WWF aujourd'hui. The Rock, également Nicole Bass, la championne culturiste mondiale. On a également Jeff Jarrett et on a bien sûr Val Venis. Hi guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Excited about the match tonight?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm really glad to have you here, all in the same ring, all at the same time, not fighting, talking for once.
We always talk.
Of course you always talk, but
You can do more if you like, though.
all right, more fighting?
Maybe.
All
We
right.
got backup today.
I have backup. C'est vrai, j'ai pas présenté mes esclaves, on peut dire mes esclaves aujourd'hui. J'ai pas présenté. On a Frankie the Mobster ici. On a Piranha. Et on a Chacal. Ça va les gars?
Toujours bien.
Toujours bien. Parfait. On commence. We're happy to have The Rock. We're happy to have Jeff. Jeff, you've always been, and I think it shows in your whole persona, you've always been a very down-to-earth kind of guy. No frills, no excess lighting, no pageantry. Are you? Do you consider yourself a very down-to-earth
You
guy?
did your homework, but that's okay. So what is your question, though? Do I consider myself...
Do you consider yourself a down-to-earth kind of guy?
On or off the camera?
On camera, off camera.
Whatever
It's
the opportunity arises, if it's time to showboat or if it's time to show in a little pageantry, I can do that. But if it's time to get down to business, I can also do that.
You know how to get down to business, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, perfect. And your manager, Deborah, has also...
She's taking care of the puppies right now.
What is exactly the grooming ritual for her puppies?
Excuse me?
What is exactly the grooming ritual for her
You're
puppies?
getting a little personal, aren't you?
No secrets revealed?
No secrets revealed. Not today here. Maybe tonight.
All right.
Maybe tonight.
You are very protective of her puppies.
Oh, well, shouldn't I be?
Well, yeah, but...
Shouldn't I be?
Haven't they gotten you a bit further, her distracting your opponents with these puppies, quote
I use
unquote?
the puppies to my advantage, absolutely.
All right.
In and out of the ring.
In and out of the ring. I'm sure you do. Donc, bien sûr, Jeff Jarrett, qui est très connu pour avoir sa fameuse gérante, Deborah, qu'on a eu le plaisir de recevoir ici un petit peu plus tôt cette année. C'est bien sûr sa gérante de la WWF. Elle est très grande, c'est une grande blonde. Et puis, elle est reconnue pour avoir ce qu'on appellerait ses puppies, ou son buste, finalement. On lui a dit, où est-ce qu'elle est, Deborah? Il dit, elle prend bien soin de ces fameux puppies, de son buste. Je lui ai demandé s'il y avait un rituel particulier pour l'entretien de ces puppies. Et puis, malheureusement, c'était un petit peu trop personnel pour être révélé.
What the hell are you saying?
I am translating. I'm talking about Deborah's puppies in French.
Okay, easy.
All right. Perfect. Et puis,
You won't hear.
we're not pissing you off, are we now?
Don't do that.
No? All right. Perfect. En terminant, parlant toujours de Jeff Jarrett, il nous a dit que Debra, par contre, il utilisait bien sûr son physique à son avantage, mais qu'il s'en servait aussi bien chez lui. You feel there's a bit of manipulation happening with Debra and you against your opponents?
Absolutely. I use
There
it
is?
to my advantage. I wouldn't have her out there if I didn't try to use it to my advantage. Some guys fall for it, some don't. And like I said, I definitely use it to my advantage.
All right. But I'm sure she's a strong woman nonetheless.
Do what?
I'm sure she's a strong woman nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Definitely. She's her own person. We're talking about manipulation. There has been a fair amount of manipulation within the WWF.
Now there's a manipulator right there. Right there.
Yeah. Can we? Do you want to talk about manipulation, Mr. Rock?
Sure.
All
Go
right.
away.
Mr. Rock.
Mr. Rock? Can I call him Mr. Rock? Okay. He's a foot taller than me, so I guess I could.
You have to do whatever.
Excuse me?
You have to do whatever he says.
Oh, I do.
Yes, you
Oh,
must.
all right, perfect. You've never been. You were a fan of the fans. Then, how did you kind of regain? There seems to be a very big cooperation these days between you and the fans. A very intense relationship, where you kind of speak up to them.
Well, I think what happened a long time ago when The Rock first came in about 3 years ago, he was a baby face and what we call a good guy in our industry. So from there, it just that really didn't work. So it was just a matter of me going to the WWF and saying, hey, listen, let me go out there and just do my own thing. Let me respond the way I want to. Let me just do my own thing and at least give me the creative freedom to go out and say what I want to say.
I see.
And then from there, it's one of those things where The Rock, no doubt the character is an asshole, but but he's a cool asshole.
I
and that's
second
just
that
what it
motion.
is.
You second that motion? All right. Donc, on demande à The Rock, j'ai dit, tu as toujours eu un personnage très, très fort, mais tu as aussi une grande coopération entre les fans. On sait qu'il parle à ses fans. C'est presque comme un preacher américain, finalement, où il parle, et puis ses fans répondent à des célèbres phrases qu'il répète souvent. Puis, je lui ai demandé comment ça s'est développé, ce personnage-là. You just following the translation?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, perfect. Il a dit, il y a 3 ans, quand je suis arrivée dans la WWF, j'étais une espèce de good guy, comme on dit, un personnage très gentil, mais qui était assez dans l'ombre. Je leur ai demandé, créez-moi un personnage ou donnez-moi la liberté, finalement, de me créer un personnage où je peux m'exprimer librement, et ça marche. So you find you do have a lot, all of you have a lot of creative freedom to express what you want your character to express. Do the writers let you do that?
As far as I go, and Rocky's been around the business 3 generations, that is, I'd say, the number one change in the way that Vince, he lets us have a lot of creative freedom, because I think he's come to realize that if you put a character on a guy and make him do just a certain thing and act a certain way, that you really don't get 100% out of a guy. As long as you let him create and express which really comes from within, then you get the best product.
So you all are a bit. Rock said Rock is an asshole, but I guess you kind of still feel a certain connection with that persona.
Well, yeah, I mean, for you to have a successful character, you know, it can't be far from the real person. So I think that, you know, a lot of fans recognize that, myself, Val, Jeff, Cole even, and, you know, so many of our WWF guys, from Stone Cold to the Undertaker, to a lot of those guys. So it's just a matter of going out there and doing your thing and you know, making the fans react to certain things you do.
All right. Val, do you feel sometimes as an adult film star, people just recognize you for your body and disregard the fact that you are an accomplished athlete?
Well, you know, I think as far as the creative department in the World Wrestling Federation goes, I think, like Jeff said, I think when you are closer to being what you are in real life, it's a lot easier. You feel a lot more comfortable. And I think when you're comfortable with the character, you're going to get the character over, or at least you have a better chance of getting the character over. I think that back in the old days when they used to throw a character on you and say, you're doing this, whether you feel comfortable with it or not, I think that was kind of a mistake, because a lot of guys don't feel comfortable doing a certain thing. You don't feel comfortable with it, it's not going to work.
Okay.
And I think when The Rock was given his creative freedom to do what he wanted to do, he did what he felt comfortable doing. And now he's a huge success in the World Wrestling Federation.
Definitely, as are you too. On parle toujours du fait qu'ils sont bien sûr des personnages un peu grossis, un peu magnifiés si on veut. On parlait à Val, Venus, qui est aussi une vedette de l'industrie du film adulte. Et puis je viens de demander, est-ce que tu trouves que des fois les gens de la WWF te considèrent seulement pour ton corps, tes muscles, et puis oublient le fait que tu es quand même un athlète sérieux? You're doing that for the ladies, aren't you?
I always do it for the ladies, baby.
All right. Il fait ça toujours pour les femmes, également pour The Rock. Il dit, maintenant, on crée des personnages avec lesquels on est très, très confortable et puis avec lesquels on est confortable de vivre en harmonie, qui ressemblent un petit peu plus à nos personnalités. Donc, what we are doing, guys, what I have to explain also to the viewers, is that you're all picking a clip, a kind of theme song for the day, and the people are going to have to call in and vote here. And the first of you to pick a clip was Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the video that The Rock chose would have to be something that personifies The Rock, personifies style and fashion and class and millions of dollars, everything that The Rock is, and of course personifies South Beach, Miami, Florida, Will Smith, Miami. That's it.
All right. All right. De la WWF ici en direct à Musique Plus, wwf@musiqueplus.com pour téléphoner pour leur parler live à Musique Plus 514-790+, ou sinon vous composez le 1-800-567-5656. On revient tout de suite après la pause et en attendant, je prends de l'eau. Copain, The Rock, you've brought one of your friends along.
Yeah, The Rock brought along a good friend of his. By no means is this guy jabroni. Is Michael Duncan, started in the film with Bruce Willis, Armageddon. Big hand for The Rock's man.
So, how did you two exactly get to meet?
Well, what happened was he had came to a show with his girlfriend. His girlfriend just happens to be a big fan of The Rock. Is that right?
That's right. Very big fan of The Rock.
One of the millions and millions
of The Rock fans.
So anyway, Michael just we kind of met after the show, and then from there it's been pretty cool. And, you know, just obviously watching this guy do his thing on the big screen is something else.
Definitely. So you both take pleasure in watching each other in your entertainment careers.
Yeah, he's real good. He's entertaining. I like when he does that little elbow thing, and you know, I'm always in my hotel room doing push-ups when he comes out, because his music is just captivated, fires you up. Him and Stone Cold, they got the best music to me when they come out. You know, like that? Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Donc, on parle à Michael Duncan Clark, qui est un copain à The Rock, un copain de The Rock qui a rencontré à un match. Vous savez que Michael Duncan, bien sûr, c'est un acteur. Vous l'avez peut-être vu dans le film Armageddon, en compagnie de Bruce Willis. Ils se sont rencontrés donc après un match, puisque la copine de Michael était une fan de The Rock. Et puis, depuis ce temps-là, leur amitié s'est développée. J'ai dit, qu'est-ce que tu préfères? Les deux, bien sûr, aiment bien suivre la carrière de l'autre, la carrière dans le monde du divertissement, finalement. Et puis, j'aurais dit, qu'est-ce que tu préfères? Et puis, Michael a répondu qu'il adorait la musique de The Rock et également de Stone Cold, de Steve Austin. Music is a very important part these days in the WWF. I know you're releasing Volume 4 soon of the CD. How do you pick your music? What is it that pumps you up about your theme songs?
Well, I think what you got to do is find something that you like personally, you know, as a person. And then from there, we have our songwriters and our musicians who kind of put everything together, and they let you listen to it, and you got to try and envision yourself going out, you know. So it's one of those things. As far as my music, I thought, man, there's nothing better than, do you smell what The Rock is cooking when that bass hits and you go out there, and people go crazy. Matter of fact, just quick side note, Michael's just complimenting the French accent, just how sexy he thought it was.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you very much. Donc, je lui ai dit comment tu te prends pour choisir ta musique. I assume you guys are kind of working the same way to pick your music as The Rock proceeded?
I actually had nothing to do with my music.
All right, okay.
I have nothing to do with mine either.
You had nothing to do with yours either? What about you, Jeff?
Me neither. It's basically it's theme music, and then but if you go to them with an idea, they'll try to incorporate it in.
Definitely. Donc, c'est ça, j'ai demandé à The Rock comment tu te prenais. Il dit, moi, je suis allé voir nos musiciens. Je leur ai dit qu'est-ce qui me plaisait, qu'est-ce qui me plaisait pas. Et puis, ils ont composé une musique à ma mesure. Michael, thank you very much for being with us. I hope you practice your eyebrow moves, too.
No, you know what? I leave that to the professionals.
You leave that to the professionals?
And I hope he doesn't get on my turkey.
Can you just show us maybe?
Yeah,
show Michael how you.
Come on, Rock, give us the eyebrow.
People's eyebrow. Come on. Woo! Very nice. Alors, donc, j'ai dit à Michael, je lui ai dit, est-ce que tu pratiques également tes mouvements de sourcils comme The Rock? Et The Rock a dit non, on va laisser ça à, bien sûr, The Rock, qui nous a fait une petite jolie démonstration. Et maintenant, question du public. We have a bunch of fans that want to ask you questions, so we're going to bring one up on the ring right now. Oh, she's up there. Bonjour.
Allô?
Ton nom, c'est quoi?
C'est Caroline.
OK. Puis c'est ta question, elle est adressée à qui?
Elle est à tout le monde.
D'accord.
J'aimerais ça savoir qu'est-ce qui les a poussés à devenir des lutteurs.
D'accord. OK. Donc, Caroline here wants to know what prompted all of you to join the WWF and become wrestlers or managers.
It's easy for me. I grew up in the business. My dad wrestled. My grandmother promoted wrestling on one side of my family. My grandfather on the other side. So it was a family business, and so it was easy for me. I just followed in the footsteps of my family.
All right. What about you guys?
For me, it just kind of fell in my lap. I was in bodybuilding for 15 years. I'm the largest woman bodybuilder in the world. Yeah. And I wrestled on the independent circuit for about 2 years and ended up at WWF.
Wow. All right. And what about you two?
Well, you know, I did it right out of high school. I was supposed to go to Colorado State for aeronautical science. And I got my first pro wrestling job in England for the summer. And I figured that I'd go wrestle for the summer and go back to school.
Ditch aeronautical wrestling, aeronautical science.
Exactly. I figured I'd go back to school in the fall, but it never
happened.
Up that way. I just stayed wrestling. I loved the business and kept on going.
All right. And The Rock, you come from a family.
Yeah, it was pretty easy.
wrestler.
Just like Jeff, third generation wrestler, from my grandfather to my dad. So just one of those things that kind of just fell in line.
All right. Donc, pour ce qui est de Jeff et puis également de The Rock, Caroline, ce sont des gens d'une famille de lutteurs. Les deux viennent d'une 3e génération de lutteurs. Leur père et leur grand-père étaient lutteurs, alors c'est ce qui les a poussés. Nicole, elle était culturiste et puis c'est comme elle dit, c'est comme tomber sur mes genoux finalement. Ça m'est arrivé par hasard. Il y a quelqu'un qui m'a offert un emploi dans la WWF et puis bon, j'ai décidé de le prendre. Et puis Varl, lui, avant de faire de la lutte également, avant de faire des films, il étudiait à l'université en Floride. Il étudiait les sciences aéronautiques et puis il s'est dit, bon, pourquoi pas essayer la lutte, hein? Je vais aller à Londres, je vais essayer la lutte, puis il n'est jamais retourné à l'école. Donc, voilà. On prend tout de suite une question Internet. We have somebody that wrote us via email here. We have Simon Tremblay, which his question is for The Rock. He said, j'aimerais savoir si Rocky Johnson est vraiment ton père et qu'est-ce qu'un Rudy Poo Candy ass? Donc, he wants to know if Rocky Johnson is really your father and second of all, what's a Rudy Poo Candy ass?
Yeah, first answer to that, Rocky Johnson is my real dad. I get a lot of people ask me that. I guess probably because I look more like my mom than my dad, but he is, unless something funky happened when I was young, I just don't know about. But
let's not get into that. It's personal.
Yeah, that's personal stuff. Yeah, absolutely. My dad, Rocky Johnson, from Canada, as a matter of fact. And a Rudy Poo Candy ass is basically a jabroni, a nothing, a nobody, a peon, a waste of skin.
Un moins que rien. Voilà. Donc, Simon, j'imagine que tu as entendu la réplique de The Rock. Son père, effectivement, c'était Rocky Johnson, un lutteur canadien. Puis un Rudy Poo Candy ass, qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un moins que rien. C'est un nul, finalement. Une autre question du public. Bonjour. Comment vas-tu?
Oui, ça va bien.
Ton nom, c'est quoi?
Nicolas.
OK. Ta question?
Ma question, c'est pour The Rock. contre quel lutteur que t'aimes moins te battre?
All right. He wants to know against which wrestler do you dislike the most to compete?
Well, I think hands down, no question, this guy and The Rock, every time they get together, nothing but fireworks happen. From 2 years ago, probably for the rest of our lives, would have to be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Really? Donc, tu as entendu ta réponse? La réponse assez simple, le lutteur contre lequel The Rock aime le moins se battre finalement, c'est bien sûr Stone Cold Steve Austin, un lutteur qui lui livre une lutte sans merci depuis plus de 2 ans maintenant. We're going to go see your choice now, your pick of a video clip. On va aller voir maintenant le vidéoclip de Val Venus, toujours dans ce combat.
Absolutely. You know something, I had to pick a video which represented some of the greatest gunslingers of all time, and everybody knows that Big Valboski is the fastest draw in the World Wrestling Federation. Wild Wild West, Will Smith.
Val Venus, restez là après la pause. On prend d'autres questions du public. Musique Plus contre la WWF se poursuit également avec des petites démonstrations. Restez là. De retour, Musique Plus contre la WWF. On prend toujours des questions interactives, Internet public, etc. On a donc un membre du public qui est avec nous ici. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ça va bien?
Ouais.
Ton nom, c'est quoi?
Christian.
Christian, ta question est dirigée pour qui? Quelle est-elle?
Jeff Jarrett, c'est pour savoir c'est qui ton idole?
Jeff Jarrett? Mr. Jarrett? He wants to know...
First, before we get to the question, I want to hear Rock do the French version, the French translation of Rudy Poot Candy Ass.
All right. Rudy Poot Candy Ass. Rudy Poot Candy Ass, on dit moins...
No, go ahead. What's the question?
Rock, on dit moins que rien. All right. So he wanted to know who was your idol? Who was the person you idolized the most?
Wow. Well, actually, there's 2 guys that I watched growing up. No, it's not you, Rock. It's not you.
You guys are childhood friends?
Actually, I knew Rock. You were 15 or 14?
15.
15 when I first.
Jeff was responsible for the first one at 15 getting The Rock drunk off his ass.
No, don't put that in my life. But anyway, there were 2 guys that I watched. Actually, he's our commentator now, Jerry the King Lawler.
Okay.
I grew up watching him in a regional promotion in Tennessee, and a guy named Fabulous Jackie Fargo were the 2 my childhood idols in wrestling.
All right. Donc, les 2 idoles de jeunesse de Jeff ici. On a bien sûr un annonceur de la WWF avec laquelle il a grandi. Et, and what was the name, actually, the full name of the second one you named?
The Fabulous One, Jackie Fargo.
The Fabulous One, Jackie Fargo.
Very
Parfait.
good,
Je voulais seulement être certaine de la prononciation. Parfait. Et entre-temps, on a également appris que The Rock et Jeff étaient des amis d'enfance et puis que Jeff, c'était le premier à avoir fait virer une brosse finalement à The Rock. Just now going on the serious side a little bit. Of course, Jeff, your tag team partner, Owen Hart, recently passed away in a very tragic manner. Do you think wrestling is getting a little bit it's trying too hard to reach the boundaries of reality, and his accident was due to the fact that we're trying to get too realistic in the ring?
That's an oxymoron, and it trying to get too realistic, and the actual
in the ring
stunt he was performing was.
Are we trying to get the stunts too close to reality? We're not saying they are reality, but
no, I know, but
they resulted in something very tragic.
Yeah, yes, it did. Absolutely. It's a tragedy that not only myself but everybody here and everybody in the WWF lives with every day.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I think where you're trying to go with this question is, are we going too far?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're trying to ask? Because actually that was as far from reality as possible. The Blue Blazer persona was over the top, over the edge, cornball, goofy, trying to emulate what was hot in wrestling in the 80s with the cartoon characters.
Yeah.
He was doing a spoof on a cartoon character. But as far as going over the edge with stunts, I don't think so whatsoever, because not just WWF is progressing with the 90s and into the year 2000, but all of life is. Your show right here, 15 years ago didn't exist.
Yeah.
People didn't care about videos. People didn't care about over-the-edge things and the things that you guys are presenting.
Yeah, entertainment industry is trying to get more and more extreme.
That's just the nature of time never rolls back. It always goes forward. And that's the same with WWF or any other entertainment part of this industry.
And how do you guys now fill the void? I know you pay respect to him in the matches, but how do you guys fill the void that was left by Owen?
There'll never be another Owen Hart. No one can ever. We can't even think on those lines as somebody taking Owen's place or trying to fill that void. Just like a death in any family, they're irreplaceable. But you have to move on. You have to grow. And I know myself that Owen's looking down on us and laughing and cutting up and hoping that we enjoy life just as much as he did, because if you truly knew Owen, he enjoyed life almost more so, and I'm not just saying this as a cliche, but almost more so than anybody I know.
Really?
That he truly enjoyed life, and Owen would, I know it, he would want us to go on and carry on and have a good time.
We could tell by his extravagant ways, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Donc, on parlait bien sûr de Owen Hart, le partenaire de Jeff Jarrett, qui est décédé récemment lors d'un accident, lors d'un match. Et puis, bon, je lui ai dit, est-ce que c'est peut-être parce que la lutte s'en vient de plus en plus extravagante? Est-ce qu'on s'en va vers quelque chose de plus extrême? On essaie toujours d'en mettre plus. Est-ce que c'est peut-être la faute de ça? Il dit, ben, c'est comme n'importe quoi. Il dit, il y a 15 ans ici, ça n'existerait pas. Ça n'existait pas. On n'aurait pas vu de lutteurs venir à Musique Plus. On voyait même pas Musique Plus. Il dit, tout essaie d'être plus flyé que tout. Et puis, c'est tout ce qu'on a essayé de faire. La personnalité, le personnage de Owen, qui était le Blue Blazer, était bien sûr une reproduction, si on veut, ou une image exagérée d'un caractère, d'un personnage de bande dessinée. Et puis, c'est sûr que quelque chose comme ça, c'est toujours très extravagant et ça ne peut pas se rapprocher de la réalité. Et malheureusement, ça a résulté en quelque chose de très tragique. Mais il dit, Owen va toujours rester avec nous. Je leur ai demandé comment il remplissait le vide qui était fait à cet effet. Il dit, bon, je lui rends hommage dans les matchs de lutte. On sait bien sûr qu'il porte ses t-shirts et il porte sa guitare, etc., etc. Et donc, il dit, il va toujours rester avec nous. Et c'était un homme plutôt, qui aimait beaucoup la vie, qui adorait jouer, qui adorait son personnage. Donc, il reste toujours dans nos cœurs. On this very serious note, let's just get up now and you guys show us what you're made of and show us what you can do. I think we should.
I think Val should go first. What do you think,
You
Rock?
think Val should go
doubt.
first?
Yeah.
Val?
Let's hear it. Hello, ladies.
Come on, let's do this for the ladies. Let's do this for the ladies. Can you do it for the ladies here?
I'll do a little speech for the ladies.
Okay.
I'll do a little speech for the ladies. Hello, ladies.
Yeah.
You know something? The Big Valboski is a lot like a Rubik's Cube. You know, the longer you play with it, the harder
Very nice. Jeff, I think you're up, so I think it's your turn.
No, that's all right. I'll pass on this one, Emery.
Nothing?
Can't follow that.
Oh, Jeff, please.
No, Emery.
Come on.
Oh, no. I'll go back to the old Double J persona and give a strut, all right?
All right.
You come out here and strut with me, though, Emery.
I think my slaves can go for me.
Your slaves?
Come on, slaves. Come on. Get out there.
No, they're going to do it. Come on out here and strut. Come on out here and strut.
I think they can do it.
Guys,
for
you got it down?
Yeah.
You ready? Here we go now. Here we go. Yeah! There you go. All right.
Last but not least, Rock and Nicole, what you got to say?
Well, The Rock's pretty much familiar with Nicole Bass. She pretty much lets her actions and her ass whoopings remain in the ring, not in this set. But The Rock will say this: if you smack what The Rock
Come on,
is
guys.
cooking.
Thank you very much. Before the end of the show, I am looking forward to a People's Elbow somewhere. Now we're going to go see Nicole's choice. Nicole's video.
I picked Shania Twain, That Don't Impress Me Much.
On l'écoute tout de suite. Musique Plus contre la WWF. Face à la WWF ici à Musique Plus. Shania Twain, That Don't Impress Me Much. Restez là après la pause. On voit le choix de Jeff Jarrett. Et un petit peu plus tard, on fait voter la foule pour savoir quel finaliste finalement a le meilleur goût musical. Restez là, c'est tout de suite après la pause. minutes également de Jeff Jarrett. Juste avant la pause, on a vu le choix de Nicole, qui était Shania Twain, That Don't Impress Me Much, parce que vous savez que chacun des membres ici, qu'on a ici de la WWF, ont choisi un clip. C'est aux gens ici à voter. I was just explaining how this little music contest works, and I just wanted you to talk to me about a little bit about why you chose Shania Twain, That Don't Impress Me Much.
I think Shania Twain is pretty much a personification of women that survived. She raised her brother and sister after her parents died in a car accident. And this woman really rose to the top, and I admire strong women.
Definitely. Yes. As much as the face of wrestling is changing these days, the face of women in wrestling is also changing.
That's correct.
Just this weekend we saw China compete in the King of the Ring.
Which was great.
And the women are just coming up stronger and more present than ever, do you think?
From my sport, from bodybuilding, all I had wanted to do was step on stage of the Miss Olympia, and ended up in the pro wrestling world and have watched China pretty much change the face of wrestling. So I guess I'm kind of following in her footsteps.
Definitely, and good luck to you. On vient de voir, bien sûr, Shania Twain. J'ai dit à Nicole, pourquoi tu choisis ça? Elle dit parce que c'est une femme forte qui représente tout ce qu'une femme devrait être aujourd'hui. En 1999, je trouve qu'elle représente plusieurs valeurs qui m'impressionnent beaucoup. Je lui ai dit oui, et puis les gens voient plus de femmes, bien sûr, aujourd'hui à la lutte. Autant le visage de la lutte change, il y a plus d'honnêteté peut-être avec ce qu'il dit dans le monde de la lutte. Il y a également le monde des femmes. On voit plus de femmes. Juste en fin de semaine, on a vu China être en compétition avec plusieurs hommes dans la compétition King of the Ring. Elle dit oui. Elle dit China a toujours ouvert beaucoup de portes pour les femmes. Et j'essaie de suivre dans ses pas. Jeff?
What's this mean?
That means wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Yes.
You're talking too much, Anne-Marie.
No, it means you just have to present your video clip now.
We saved the best for last.
Yeah.
Mine is Blink 182, What's My Age Again?
Mesdames, Messieurs, Diego Fiorita en direct des ondes de Musique Plus pour vous rappeler le gala de la WWF ce soir au Centre Molson à compter de 19h30. Merci aux gens ici d'avoir été présents en salle pour une émission très spéciale Musique Plus versus WWF. Centre Molson ce soir, 19h30.
C'est maintenant le grand moment de passer au vote ici en salle. Les gens ici, tout le monde, je m'adresse à tous, vous avez à voter pour votre chanson préférée des lutteurs. Donc, pour ceux qui ont préféré la pièce Miami de The Rock, on applaudit tout de suite. Pour ceux qui ont préféré la pièce de Shania Twain pour Nicole. Pour ceux qui ont préféré Wild Wild West, Val Venus. Et pour ceux qui ont préféré Blink 182,
Right, you gotta be topical. You gotta be topical.
ici les gars, c'est Jarrett. Jeff, you are the winner of this pre-gala special.
Ain't that great, Anne-Marie?
Jeff, I'm very, very proud of you tonight.
Thank you.
Your musical tastes have proven to be in a kind of similar symbiosis as we have with our fans here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to stay on top of everything.
You
right?
do?
I just want to know, what about Blink-182? Now, The Rock's a big fan of them too, but just what do you like about them, Jeff? Just out of curiosity.
They are over the edge, just like WWF is, just like much music is. Just a little bit out beyond. And, that's what I like.
You
about
like the extremeness of it.
Exactly.
All right, Jeff.
And
nothing
tonight there'll be
enough.
extremeness at the Molson Center.
I'm sure there will be some ass kicking tonight.
Come on, Rudy Poop, Candy ass. One time, the French version, Rock. Come on, one time.
Rudy Poo!
Soyez là ce soir, gala de WWF au Centre Molson, notre grand gagnant. Jeff, thank you very much. Thank you very much to all of you. Better luck next time, and we'll see you tonight.